Good evening, everybody. This is Casper from the Tropical Weather Threat Society, bringing you our nightly tropical update due to the fact that we have Tropical Storm Barry out here into the southwestern portions of the Gulf of Mexico. We also now have Tropical Storm Flossie in the eastern Pacific. And our area that we were discussing last night has now been highlighted by the National Hurricane Center with a 20% chance of tropical cyclone development. Taking a real quick look at the mesoscale loop of Tropical Storm Barry, this is going to make landfall very, very soon. And we've got it on radar. I'll show it to you guys here in a little bit. As also stated a little bit earlier here, we said that they've got our spot that we were discussing last night highlighted for a 20% chance of development over the next 7 days, 0% over the next 48 hours. But it is recommended to just monitor this as we go forward. Not necessarily saying that there's going to be guaranteed development, but there is going to be a considerable amount of rain associated with this regardless of development. Okay, now taking a look at Barry as of the 5 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time advisory. As you can see, Barry is very, very close to shore and will be in the region of Tampico, Mexico here within the next few hours. We take a look at the advisory. The advisory currently has Barry located at 21.2 north, 96.9 west, about 35 miles east-northeast of Tuxpan, Mexico, and about 95 miles southeast of Tampico, Mexico. Maximum sustained winds are 45 miles an hour, and the current movement is northwest at 9 miles an hour. Minimum central pressure is 1,006 millibars, or 29.71 inches of mercury. There are no changes with this advisory. We obviously have tropical storm warnings in effect, and that I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce that, but we do have tropical storm warnings in effect for portions of the east coast of Mexico. Rainfall is the biggest threat with this one, with our hazards affecting land. Our rainfall, we're looking at a total of widespread 3 to 6 inches with isolated maximum totals of 10 inches. This is going to be problematic due to the fact that it is located near these mountainous terrain. And as you could see, just by the topography itself, that the water drains there quite a bit and could lead to some flooding. So, folks, stay safe with that. Flooding, like I said, is the biggest threat with this one. We did have a hurricane reconnaissance mission go off in there earlier today. Found it kind of meandering between 1,008 and 1,010 millibars of pressure. They've got it at 1,006. Barry did expose its center earlier today, real quick. Visible satellite that was not obscured by the cloud cover, and the center of circulation is struggling to produce convection around the core itself. Everything was shifted off to the south and to the east due to the shear that it was impacted with. So just a little bit longer and Barry will be off the board. If we take a look at our discussion here, we will notice that a small surface vortex is basically what we're dealing with, and it is trackable. The center has also been trackable on radar out of Tampico, Mexico. Well, we just so happen to have that, and we'll zoom out a little bit. This will take a second for it to load. Helps if we hit play. But you will be able to see the center of circulation. It is kind of right in this area right here. That's where the center is, and it is continuing to close in on the Tampico, Mexico area. So, as you can see, quite a bit of heavy rains and showers associated with this. And if we just go back to the satellite view, boy, the sea breeze along the entire Gulf Coast today really fired off a lot of showers and thunderstorms. So, everybody along the Gulf Coast got rain today and did not have to be associated with Tropical Storm Barry. Now, Barry will not be on the advisory for tomorrow. So we're kind of playing tomorrow's live stream kind of by ear, really, just to see exactly what is going to occur with what we have with our new highlighted area of interest there along the southeastern coast of the United States. The spaghetti plots on Barry, kind of pointless. We know it's going to make landfall. The rainfall forecast, as you can see, isolated up to 10 inches. And this is well inland. This is into the area of onshore flow north of where the center is anticipated to make landfall. And on top of that, it is also into the mountainous terrain and mountainous area there inland. So we could certainly see some life-threatening flash flooding occur with this, and potentially even some mudslides and landslides. Tropical downpours and mountainous terrain don't mix. I thought this was kind of cute. The earliest reasonable arrival time of tropical storm force winds, it tells you nothing. And in the most likely, it didn't move. It still tells you nothing. Basically, what it's saying is that it's already there. So, if we take a look real quick at Earth Null, I'm going to pull this back a little bit, and we could see that we have both Flossie down here and what is kind of the circulation of Barry. Now, keep in mind that Earth Null is not going to ever be 100% accurate on its location. This is used for reference only. But if you take a look at the expansive high pressure that is kind of controlling the entire region here down at the surface, it has nowhere else to go but move inland. And unfortunately for Flossie, once that kind of goes away, some of the energy may transition down here just to Flossie itself. And Flossie could get quite intense. But first thing is first. Let's discuss this area here as we could see with our 20% chance of development, because I do want to get into that. First off, we're going to have quite a bit of dust in the region. As you could see, scrolling this forward, we already have dust in the region. And then it is going to be reinforced a little bit by some. But then, as you could see, when we get to about day 5, we really start to clear out the Florida Peninsula, and we're not really getting a deep punch into the Gulf of Mexico with this dust, as you could see. And then all of a sudden, once we get about a week down the road, maybe a little bit of a break and it starts to retrograde back up the state. But if you notice, it's kind of keeping everything kind of at bay here, and that's a little concerning, though we do have some of that dust in the region. Now, yesterday when we were taking a look at the ensembles, we had a bunch of little scratch marks all over the place. Today, not so much. It's trended back a little bit, and some of the models are really having trouble with the land interaction and this trying to get its act together with the Florida Peninsula. So if we take a look here at some of these scratch marks as far as the European ensembles are concerned, this is the regular Euro, we don't have much at all. Not really, hardly anything. This goes out 10 days, folks. If I pull it back to 7, as you can see, there is, pretty much the same. And once I push it out to 10, maybe a little something else, but not a lot at all. If we take a look at the GEFS ensembles, though, now this is out 7 days. There is a whole bunch of scratch marks over northern portions of Florida and the Florida Panhandle, and maybe even here into southern parts of Georgia. Now, if I push this out to 10 days, as you could see, there's some motion on whatever could potentially be there, but if there's nothing there, there'll be no motion to be had. So there is quite a bit of uncertainty that is currently within the models, and it's just basically what it's going to require is to pay attention to it. At least check back with the National Hurricane Center or your local National Weather Service office at least once a day. It's recommended. I mean, obviously, we'll have all the updates posted in on the page, but at the same time, always refer to your National Hurricane Center and your National Weather Service offices. Now, if we take a look at the Euro AI assisted, now this is where I've got a little bit of concern. Moving into the Gulf of Mexico, if this develops, and as we could see, day 7, all right, it is way out here, maybe to the south of Tallahassee or further east. Look what happens. High pressure builds in, and it allows it to then tear across the northern portions of the Gulf of Mexico. This is something that is, obviously we're looking at 4% chance, but that's something that I've been watching for. As this, begins to potentially develop, if it is in the wrong place at the wrong time, it could get a little bit more concerning. Right now, it is nothing to be concerned or worried about, but just laying all the variables on the table here. We could have a low pressure, try to develop overland, move up back inland, and disintegrate and never form anything even remotely close to a tropical disturbance. We could get it out here into off the coast of Georgia and northeastern Florida, and we could get a little mischief trying to develop there. There's so much uncertainty with this upcoming forecast that there's no guarantees that can be made. Now, if we take a look at this is the Google DeepMind experimental model, and I've kind of grown to trying to use this and incorporate it because it does include the euro, and it does have a at least with the ensembles, it'll show us where we may have signals. Now, if you remember yesterday, we had a whole bunch of blue dots. Well, there's not as many as there was yesterday today, but there is still some signal here associated with the outlook from the National Hurricane Center. So again, folks, it's just something to keep an eye on. It's nothing to be overly concerned with as far as tropical impacts are concerned. But regardless of tropical cyclone development, regardless whether this gets a name, an invest tag, it doesn't matter. There's our rainfall forecast. Now, this is from the Weather Prediction Center. This is for the southeastern United States. As you can see, this goes out over the next 7 days. Florida, Tampa, you're looking at 6.7 inches. Getting up here towards Perry, Steinhatchee region, 8.3. All along the coastline here, and especially getting up from maybe about Charlotte County, maybe the Port Charlotte area, all the way around, and maybe even getting back towards the Pensacola region. I would not be surprised if some of these rainfall totals go up because this goes out 7 days. What I have here is the model blend. Now, this is the NOAA blend of models. This also goes out 7 days. But the thing about the model blend is we can push it forward to 10 days. And as you can see, the rainfall totals are still going up from day 7. Here we have day 8. Here we have day 9. And here we have day 10. So we're going to, the thing is that we're going to receive this heavy rainfall due to this low pressure system over this upcoming week. But then we're not going to lose our afternoon shower and thunderstorms. So if flooding occurs, it is only going to be exasperated by afternoon thunderstorms every day. So, as you could see going over the next 10 days, as far as the model blend is concerned, this is a considerable amount of rain, especially for the coastal communities. So, folks, make sure you are paying attention to your local National Weather Service office for their forecast about what's coming. I can tell you for us here in the Tallahassee region, we have for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday this upcoming week, we have a 95% chance of rain all 3 days. So we're expecting quite a bit as it's coming up towards this week. Folks, please be careful if you're traveling for the holidays, especially in the state of Florida. Don't be surprised if a lot of these fireworks shows and stuff like that, if they get canceled. The weather is not going to be necessarily conducive for fireworks. We'll have plenty of rain, but you're obviously not launching fireworks in the rain. You're not going to really have a lot of people out there going, ooh, look. So, now, jumping out here to the Eastern Pacific, this has Flossie and its upper level kind of subsidence and its exhaust has been helping to kind of increase the shear for Barry. Didn't really allow Barry to get too overly intense. 45 miles an hour maximum intensity for Barry there. Maybe had hit a 50, but it's not documented. But obviously, 50-mile-an-hour storm. I'm sure that there are some gusts, getting into the severe thunderstorm range of 58 miles an hour or higher. I mean, like some of those developed thunderstorms out there are pretty intense. But if we take a look at Flossie, Flossie is impressive looking, really is. And I'll be very, very concerned about tonight going through the overnight hours and this thing potentially tapping into a rapid intensification cycle. It's primed for it. And there is a chance that this thing could get ridiculous. Taking a look, unfortunately, we do not get a mesoscale loop with this to where we can get a little bit closer, but the center of circulation is well defined. We have symmetry across the board as far as the storm is concerned. Nice outflow into the upper levels. So it's basically all systems go for Flossie over at least the next 24 to 48 hours. And, of course, we ended up with, as of this afternoon, the 2 p.m. outlook, we've got a new spot out here in the Eastern Pacific with a 20% chance of development over the next 7 days as Flossie lifts up and out and heads towards the Baja Peninsula up here and then turns to the left. Something could develop in place of where Flossie is now. Taking a look at some of the spaghetti plots associated with Flossie, as we could see, they have shifted quite a bit to the west within the earlier parts of the ensemble or the spaghetti plot here. And that is helping to kind of remove some of the threats from the coastal areas of Mexico, although the tropical storm warning still remains in effect. And I don't know why I don't have the public advisory up on this. Currently, Flossie is located at 13.5 north, 100.4 west. Maximum sustained winds of 40 miles an hour, moving west-northwest at 8 miles an hour, with a minimum central pressure of 1,005 millibars, or 29.68 inches of mercury. And a tropical storm watch is in effect for the southwest coast of Mexico from this location to that location. My daughter is not here, and there is no way y'all are getting me to try to pronounce that stuff. Y'all could laugh all you want. Rainfall, as far as we're looking at, it is again 3 to 6 inches with isolated maximum totals of up to 10 inches along the coastal areas and maybe even into the elevated terrain there. If we take a look at the discussion real quick, they call it to get up to 100 miles an hour over the next 60 hours. This could go a little bit more than that. As you could see here, it's not very strong at the current moment, but its rapid intensification potentials are insane. So anywhere where you see the red, it's likely that we're going to see the potential of rapid intensification. And the AI model, 25 knots in 24 hours, 71%. So as you can see here, we definitely have the opportunity for this to get its act together and really turn into another hurricane and potentially a strong hurricane for the Eastern Pacific Basin. Now, if we do get this into a strong hurricane, that then in turn is going to potentially help create a little bit of extra shear over portions of the basin. We could get a little bit of that extra wind and subsidence coming over to the Gulf of Mexico, as you can see with the outflow here. Question is can we get it all the way over? That there's high pressure that could lead to a little bit of a better environment for whatever could be if it can take advantage of it. I don't think it's going to be that far to the west, though. I really don't. Now, taking a look at Flossie's consensus, as you can see, the consensus has been shifting a little bit to the west today. The intensity, though, in response has gotten higher. The HCCA has also been shifting and trending to the west, has held over the last couple runs, but has been trending further and further away from the coast, which is a good thing. And though its intensity is just below a Category 3 hurricane there. So it's certainly something that we're going to have to watch. This is basically trying to get it up to about 105, 110 miles an hour. The official forecast on this brings it up to 100 miles an hour over the Category 2 threshold there. But I wouldn't be surprised if we look at the H-Wharf's intensity, mid-range Cat 2. H-Mon intensity really isn't on it. Halves A right there, just below Cat 3 status. Halves B just below Cat 3 status. So as long as everything runs according to plan, COAMPS is the only one that really wants to bring it into a Category 3, maybe 115, 120 miles an hour. But that's as of right now. And if there's one thing that we've learned over the last couple seasons, you don't underestimate an Eastern Pacific storm. Do not underestimate them, because they can turn explosive intensification and like things that we haven't seen very often in the past. We jump out to the Western Pacific, nothing. So that's kind of a good thing. There is an area of potential development that could occur, and later on this upcoming week. But the Joint Typhoon Warning Center only goes out 24 hours on development, and we do not have anything there. Now, one thing that I do want to show, and I'm bringing this up on Tropical Tidbits, and for a reason, because everybody really has access to Tropical Tidbits. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring this back to current time. This is the 12Z 850 millibar cyclonic vorticity. And what I want to show everybody is kind of what we're looking at. Now, keep an eye on the Florida Peninsula. So here comes our frontal boundary. Here it comes. We're at 84 hours, and we see this trough feature right here. Okay. Now, I'm going to run this forward a little bit more and watch what happens. That trough feature kind of gets cut off, and an area of spin begins to try to develop on the very end of this. As the other low pressure is lifting out and lifting through, you could see a very broad area of rotation or vorticity try to get itself going down here. Land interaction and environmental conditions due to some of the extra shear associated with Flossie. As you can see, Flossie's out here, and that could contribute a little bit, plus the dry air and the subsidence and the Saharan air layer. There are going to be some competing factors here. So it's just something that we're going to be monitoring continuously. But as you can see, it never really gets its act together. High pressure then builds back in and pushes it back inland. It never makes its way out to the north and to the east. Just kind of hangs around until it gets shoved back into the landmass. Now, just to give you a comparison, let's get to the 0 hour. This is the European model. Now, it's showing something very similar. You will see here comes the frontal boundary, and now we're going to start, there's the front, right? Now we're going to start to kind of break away from that and get an area of spin on the back end of this. Now, the Euro actually develops two areas of rotation. All right, so just keep that in mind. And none of this is actually making it down to the surface. None of it is being, as you can see, I got a sounding. This area here, that one's gone. Okay, there's no real turn, no spin there. And this one has become the more dominant feature as we go forward. But then as you can see, with land interaction, some shear, it's been elongated, stretched out, but the rain is going to be the big story. And the oceanic heat content, as you can see, there is some there. The shelf water, it does not show the coastal shelf water. It is warm. It is definitely enough to support a tropical cyclone, as you can see with the sea surface temperatures up here, especially on along the northern Gulf Coast states. The water temperatures are boiling hot right now. All right, everybody, I'm going to check the questions here. I don't see. Yeah, Chris, no. To your mother-in-law, you will be fine, ma'am. It's just a lot of rain that is forecasted for our area. You should have no problems on leaving for your trip. It's just it's June, July weather where we get those 3-4 days of potential washout weather, and where we get showers and thunderstorms. It's nothing too overly concerning at this point in time. There's nothing in the models that are signaling anything of significance other than one ensemble from one model representing a 2% chance from that particular model. But then when you include it with everything else, it's under 1%. Now, I will say this, some people may see folks going out there and trying to, hey, we want to show you all the models. The icon is the one that actually tries to spin something up, tries to consolidate it, but the icon is not necessarily the best form of tropical cyclone modeling that you're going to be able to get your hands on. So it's something, again, it's just something that we have to watch. The more reliable models are not really picking up on this, but just it's really just stay tuned. There's a lot of uncertainty still left in the entire thing, and it's constantly updating. I cannot begin to tell you how much this model blend. Let me kind of give you an example. We'll go back to the 12Z and then pop it out to 10 days. You could see we had a bullseye, Panama City looking at 10 inches. We'll go back another 12 hours and we'll show you how things have just been, like there wasn't anywhere near the rainfall totals of what we were looking at. And then, like everything has been cycling and changing. And it's everything is trying to get updated, as you could see with just even the 18Z. Things are different. We've gotten it to back off of this more western portion, getting back towards Panama City. And then if we go 10 days, the very next model run, now we're back to 8.5. So a lot of this is the coastal communities, and a lot of it is just rain. Right now, the Weather Prediction Center has a slight risk of excessive rainfall, but down here, Big Bend region down here into the Florida Peninsula for day 5, marginal for everybody else. I mean, it's more of one of your washout events, summertime transitional season. We kind of see this. Not every single year, but it's certainly not rare either. It's stalled out frontal boundary. We kind of know the routine. It's just the excessive rainfall is what really concerns me with this, not really as much as the tropical cyclone development, tropical storm, hurricane, anything like that. But now, if the models are starting to trend into more and more of potential development, we'll definitely let everybody know. But as of right now, they're actually trending downward instead of upward. So, all right, everybody, I'm going to check. And let's see, my parents are going to Daytona for a week for the 4th. I'm not jealous anymore. Nope, wouldn't be jealous, Sammy. Though they're going to be on the East Coast, a lot of the stuff will be on the West Coast. They could get the fireworks shows off on the East Coast. It's really all going to depending on how it sets up and sea breeze interactions and stuff like that, and kind of how the Saharan air layer is going to hang around and play. So, all right, everybody, have a wonderful evening. Again, we are going to play tomorrow night's live stream by ear. I might break protocol for this one. It's all going to depend upon what the models are showing. If they're still trending in a more downward fashion like they have been as far as development is concerned, we may not go live tomorrow evening. But regardless, if it hits 40%, boom, we're live from there until it's gone. So we're watching it. We're keeping a very close eye on it. And if you guys got any questions, please feel free to reach out to us, and definitely keep an eye on the National Hurricane Center and your local National Weather Service office this upcoming week. So with that, have a wonderful evening, everybody. We'll talk to you soon. Bye.